The wind howls outside, rattling the windows with an icy fury. Suddenly, the lights flicker and die, plunging your home into a chilling, absolute darkness. The silence that follows is deafening, broken only by the shiver running down your spine. This isn't a drill. A winter blackout has struck, and the grid that powers your life is gone. Your heat, your lights, your connection to the outside world, all severed. As the temperature inside begins its steady, relentless drop toward freezing, the walls of your home feel less like a shelter and more like a tomb. Every minute you're unprepared is a minute closer to disaster. Frostbite, hypothermia, and profound isolation are not just possibilities. They are the grim reality for those caught off guard. You might think you have the basics covered, but what about the items that truly make the difference between survival and succumbing to the cold? We've identified 9 critical items that could save your life when the power fails. Pay close attention, because the one thing most people completely overlook, item number 7, is often the most crucial. Your life could depend on it. Personal heat generators, battery-powered warmth that keeps you alive. When the grid goes down in the dead of winter, the first thing that disappears is central heat. Homes drop from livable to lethal temperatures in a matter of hours. The key to survival isn't heating the entire space, it's maintaining your core body temperature, and that's where battery-powered heating devices become lifesavers. Rechargeable hand warmers, heated gloves, and heated vests are designed for targeted heat delivery. Unlike traditional heating systems that waste energy trying to warm a whole room, these devices channel warmth directly to your body's most vital areas, your chest, back, and extremities. They run on lithium-ion batteries and can provide several hours of continuous warmth per charge. One of their biggest advantages is flexibility. You don't need one for every person. A single unit can be shared among family members in rotation. When one person starts to feel dangerously cold, they can use the heated vest or warmer to stabilize their core temperature, then pass it to the next person. This method conserves both battery life and body heat. Hypothermia doesn't announce itself with violent shaking, it starts quietly with drowsiness, confusion, and loss of coordination. These symptoms can appear long before a person realizes they're in danger. By applying heat directly to the torso or hands, you help your body retain enough warmth to keep blood flowing and vital organs functioning. The best strategy is redundancy. Stock up on extra-charged battery packs. Keep them in insulated pouches to protect against cold-related battery drain. Rechargeable devices can also be powered through small solar panels or power banks if the blackout lasts several days. When your furnace is silent and the cold is closing in, these personal heaters can buy you critical hours or even days of survival. Remember, in freezing conditions, survival isn't about heating the house. It's about heating yourself smartly and staying one step ahead of hypothermia. 2. Thermal armor. Heavy-duty blankets that hold the line. Most people underestimate how fast body heat escapes during a blackout. Within hours, an unheated home can mimic outdoor temperatures, and without proper insulation, your body's warmth leaks into the cold air. That's why heavy-duty wool or survival-grade blankets are among FEMA's top recommendations. Ordinary fleece, throws, or decorative blankets offer comfort, but not real protection. True survival blankets work by trapping air in dense fibers, creating a heat barrier that slows thermal loss. Wool, in particular, is a miracle material. It continues to insulate even when wet, resists flame, and lasts for decades. Modern synthetic survival blankets mimic these properties with lighter weight and added durability. When temperatures plummet, these blankets can literally form a microclimate. By wrapping yourself in layers of wool, you create a stable pocket of warm air that your body can maintain even as the room grows colder. This technique is especially critical for children, the elderly, and those who are ill, as their bodies lose heat faster. But these blankets are more than just covers. They are multi-purpose survival tools. Spread one on the floor to block cold seeping up from below. Hang them over doors and windows to reduce drafts. Layer several over windows for insulation. In extreme cases, they can even serve as makeshift shelters, ground tarps, or emergency partitions. The goal is not luxury, it's longevity. Thin blankets may feel warm initially, but they allow steady heat loss that becomes deadly over time. Heavy-duty blankets, on the other hand, silently preserve energy, giving your body a chance to rest and recover. FEMA advises keeping 1 to 2 heavy blankets per person in every household, stored in an accessible location. Choose practicality over softness. This is not about comfort, it's about endurance. When the lights go out and the mercury drops, these blankets become your first and last line of thermal defense. 3. Pocket heat reactors. The power of chemical body warmer. When all power sources die, you need a heat supply that doesn't depend on batteries, fuel, or electricity. That's where chemical body warmers come in. Small, self-contained packets that generate their own heat when exposed to air. These compact devices contain iron powder, salt, activated carbon, and water. Once unsealed, a simple oxidation process begins, releasing steady warmth for up to 8 to 12 hours. You can place them inside gloves, boots, pockets, or directly on your chest and abdomen to keep your core temperature stable. The advantage of body warmers is that they produce heat, not just trap it. Blankets conserve warmth. Body warmers create it from scratch. This makes them invaluable in freezing blackouts where ambient temperature drops below freezing and body heat alone isn't enough. They are incredibly lightweight, inexpensive, and require zero maintenance, making them ideal for mass storage or emergency kits. FEMA and cold weather shelters use them because they drastically reduce hypothermia rates among stranded individuals. They are also safe for all ages when used correctly, though direct prolonged skin contact should be avoided to prevent burns. Body warmers are particularly effective when used in combination with other insulation methods. For instance, slipping them under layers of clothing, inside a sleeping bag, or beneath blankets can multiply their effectiveness. Each packet becomes a mini furnace, radiating warmth precisely where it's needed most. Because they rely on air exposure, they have an extremely long shelf life when sealed. Store large quantities in a cool, dry place and rotate your stock occasionally. When the blackout drags on for days and your batteries or fuel reserves are running low, chemical warmers become your silent, pocket-sized heat source. They require no technology, no setup, and no learning curve. Just open, shake, and survive. In a world of uncertainty, these little packets can be the difference between shivering through the night and making it safely to sunrise. Thermal shields. Insulating windows to stop heat loss. You can have the best heaters and blankets in the world, but if your house is bleeding heat through its windows, you're fighting a losing battle. Glass might look solid, but in freezing weather, it's one of the biggest culprits of heat escape. FEMA and the Department of Energy both emphasize window insulation as one of the most effective low-cost defenses during winter blackouts. The principle is simple: keep warm air in and cold air out. Even a single uninsulated window can drop a room's temperature dramatically within hours. Most modern homes are not designed for off-grid heat retention, so once the furnace stops, windows become open thermal gates. Fortunately, the solution doesn't require expensive equipment. You can create DIY insulated window covers using common household materials: thick blankets, cardboard, foam board, plastic sheeting, old quilts, or even layers of newspaper taped securely around the frame. The key is to form a sealed air barrier between the cold glass and the room air, minimizing convection and radiation loss. Properly insulated windows can cut heat loss by nearly half, preserving valuable warmth for days. During blackouts, every degree matters. This simple step can determine whether your living area remains bearable or turns into an icebox overnight. Preparation is crucial. Measure your windows in advance and keep pre-cut materials ready for quick installation. During the first hours of a blackout, seal windows tightly using tape or tacks and block all visible gaps or leaks. Prioritize rooms where your family gathers or sleeps. Keeping one warm zone efficient is better than trying to heat the whole house. For added efficiency, pair insulated covers with heavy curtains or draped blankets. Layering increases air pockets, which drastically improves insulation. This isn't a luxury measure, it's physics in action. Without it, any effort to stay warm is undermined by the constant escape of heat. With it, your efforts multiply. In a prolonged power outage, insulated window covers become your home's thermal shield, silently defending against the invisible enemy that steals warmth heat loss itself. Point 5. Portable propane radiant heaters, the lifeline. When the grid goes dark, when temperatures crash below freezing and the power grid fails, the first battle is not against darkness, it's against cold. Portable propane radiant heaters are FEMA-endorsed lifesavers, designed for exactly that moment. These units don't depend on electricity. They burn clean propane to generate targeted radiant heat, warming people and objects directly instead of just circulating air like electric heaters. In a blackout, that difference means survival. The most effective models are small, stable, and built with auto shut-off sensors that kill the flame if oxygen drops or the unit tips over. Key safety features when ventilation is limited. They produce intense warmth, capable of keeping a single room livable through sub-zero nights. For families, that one warm space can mean the difference between frostbite and comfort. Yet despite their simplicity, misuse is deadly. FEMA emphasizes ventilation and distance, at least 3 feet from anything flammable and never inside a completely sealed area. Carbon monoxide is invisible, odorless, and lethal, so proper airflow is essential. The time to learn operation isn't during the storm. It's now. Practicing lighting, adjusting flame, and refueling in advance ensures calm control when chaos hits. Propane itself stores indefinitely if kept sealed and dry. That makes it one of the most reliable fuels in long-term preparedness. Stockpiling small tanks, properly labeled and rotated, ensures heat independence. When cities freeze, pipes burst, and emergency lines are jammed, these heaters keep humans functional. Electricity may fail, but heat, real burning heat, remains in your hands if you're ready. Point 6. Thermal bottles, your personal heat bank. In a winter blackout, warmth is survival, both outside and within your body. That's where thermal insulated bottles earn their place on FEMA's critical list. They're far more than drink containers. They're miniature heat batteries for your core. By retaining hot water for up to 10 hours, they turn every sip into internal warmth, staving off hypothermia and maintaining hydration. A danger people overlook when it's cold. When the power's out and you can't rely on stoves or kettles, these bottles preserve the heat you already have. A single fill with boiling water before bed can keep you warm through the night. FEMA's experts even suggest placing multiple bottles near your sleeping bag or under blankets. They act like reusable hot packs. Their second advantage is hydration under cold stress. In freezing weather, thirst fades, but your body still loses moisture through respiration. Dehydration thickens your blood, slows circulation, and worsens cold injuries. Having warm liquids on hand, tea, broth, or just hot water keeps your metabolism and alertness up. Durability is another reason FEMA prefers these over ordinary plastic bottles. Stainless steel insulated flasks withstand drops, ice, and pressure. They can also melt snow for emergency drinking water without refreezing. The most effective strategy is to maintain several filled before the storm arrives. When the grid is silent and your home chills, these bottles become a literal source of life, a steady, portable reservoir of heat and hydration in a world turned cold. Point 7. Long-life emergency food packs. Calories that outlast chaos. When power lines fall and grocery shelves empty, your survival clock starts ticking. Not because of the cold, but because of hunger. FEMA lists shelf-stable emergency food packs as non-negotiable in any winter blackout plan. These are freeze-dried meals, high-calorie ration bars, and ready-to-eat packets engineered for decades-long storage, 5 to 25 years, depending on type. Unlike traditional groceries, these don't spoil or require refrigeration. They just need water or none at all. In crisis mode, energy conservation matters. Cooking drains both time and fuel. That's why FEMA recommends foods that can be eaten straight from the pouch or rehydrated with minimal heat. A smart storage plan diversifies between proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. Include canned tuna, peanut butter, soups, grains, and high-calorie bars for variety and nutrition. Store them in multiple locations, at home, in your car, and in a grab-and-go kit. Blackouts often come with road closures and frozen infrastructure, so mobility counts. What FEMA warns repeatedly is timing. Never wait until disaster is announced. During the 2021 Texas freeze, grocery aisles went bare within hours. Families without stockpiles were left relying on cold snacks and hope. Don't make that mistake. Stock early, rotate annually, and test meals before emergency use. Hunger destroys morale faster than cold, and warmth without food means weakness. Sustained calories are strength, and strength is survival. Point 8. Kerosene lamps. Light, warmth, and sanity in darkness. When the grid collapses, darkness does more than obscure. It breaks morale. FEMA identifies kerosene lamps, not only as light sources but as emotional anchors in crisis. A soft flame brings back normalcy, calm, and control. It's psychological first aid wrapped in glass. These lamps burn clean kerosene, offering 15 to 20 hours of steady light per fill, and give off mild warmth, just enough to take the edge off cold air. In survival scenarios, that small comfort matters enormously. People think clearer, communicate better, and feel safer under even a dim glow. Operating them is simple, but requires care. Always ventilate. Burning fuel indoors consumes oxygen. Adjust the wick for brightness. Too high causes smoke, too low kills light. A mirror placed behind the lamp doubles illumination. An old trick used during wartime blackouts. FEMA also advises storing extra wicks and sealed fuel in cool, dry conditions. Kerosene lasts years if unopened. Psychologically, the effect of light cannot be overstated. In pitch-black conditions, especially during long nights of snow and isolation, light preserves hope. It keeps the human clock functioning. That's why FEMA's winter survival lists consistently include kerosene lamps, despite modern alternatives, because when batteries die and the silence deepens, a living flame restores the sense of human presence. It's not just light, it's the symbol of persistence itself. Point 9. Multi-fuel camping stoves. Firepower when the kitchen dies. When winter storms crush infrastructure, cooking becomes impossible. But eating cold food for days is unsustainable, both physically and mentally. FEMA's answer: the multi-fuel camping stove. A compact, rugged device capable of burning propane, kerosene, alcohol, or even wood. This single tool solves 3 survival problems: heat, hydration, and morale. First, it lets you boil water, critical for hygiene, sterilizing utensils, and melting snow for drinking. Second, it allows you to cook warm meals, maintaining body temperature and energy. Third, it gives a sense of control, the ancient comfort of fire amid collapse. The best models are foldable, stable, and safe for semi-enclosed use, like balconies or garages with airflow. They're designed for portability but can sustain long-term use if fuel is rationed. FEMA's recommendation: practice setup and ignition before emergency. Most people underestimate how hard it is to cook in freezing wind with numb hands. Familiarity can prevent dangerous mistakes when stress spikes. The versatility of multi-fuel systems ensures survival under nearly any condition. Propane tanks might empty, wood may be wet, but with multiple options, you're never without flame. Keep several fuel types stored, sealed, and rotated. Fire equals civilization. It purifies, cooks, dries, and strengthens. In FEMA's playbook, this isn't a camping accessory, it's a survival engine. When your electric stove is dead, and you're staring at frozen food, this tool brings back the most primal force humanity ever mastered: controlled fire. And in the dead of winter, that fire doesn't just feed you, it keeps your will alive. Point 10. Solar-powered generators. Silent power in a frozen world. When the grid fails and every neighborhood drowns in darkness, one piece of equipment silently rises above the chaos. The solar-powered generator. FEMA ranks it among the most critical modern survival tools for a reason. It bridges the gap between isolation and independence. Unlike gas or diesel models, it doesn't rely on refueling trips or dangerous fumes. When the sun rises, so does your power. Traditional fuel generators are effective but noisy, smelly, and often lethal indoors. Solar generators are the complete opposite: quiet, emission-free, and completely renewable. They convert sunlight into stored energy through panels, then deliver that electricity to power essentials like communication devices, medical equipment, lamps, or even heating blankets. During a winter blackout, this isn't luxury. It's the difference between survival and despair. The brilliance lies in longevity. Solar units have lifespans of 10 years or more with proper maintenance, and the best models charge even in cloudy or snowy weather, albeit slower. FEMA advises pre-charging and keeping battery banks full before storms hit, ensuring you begin with stored power. A good generator can run phones, radios, flashlights, and even small heaters for several days if managed wisely. Storage capacity matters. The ideal system includes portable panels, lithium-ion storage cells, and multiple output ports for DC and AC power. Compact enough to carry, yet powerful enough to run life-saving devices. Pairing it with LED lamps or rechargeable thermal blankets creates a sustainable energy loop that can last indefinitely: sunlight to power, power to warmth, warmth to survival. The catch: cost and preparation. You must invest early and test your setup before disaster. Many homeowners discover too late that their generator doesn't store enough energy or charge in shade. Practice positioning panels in winter sun, rotate battery packs, and always keep cables insulated from snow. A solar-powered generator turns crisis into control. It's not about just surviving, it's about maintaining functionality. Communication, light, even morale. When the world outside freezes and fuel stations close, your energy independence becomes your fortress. The storm can knock out everything, but it can't block the sun. Point 11. Carbon monoxide detectors. The silent guardian of winter survival. Every winter blackout brings an invisible killer, carbon monoxide CO. It's colorless, odorless, and deadly within minutes. During desperate cold, families use propane heaters, kerosene lamps, or charcoal stoves indoors, unaware that these can turn homes into gas chambers. That's why FEMA stresses this above all else. A carbon monoxide detector isn't optional, it's essential. CO poisoning mimics fatigue at first, headache, nausea, dizziness. Victims often think they're just cold or tired until they collapse. During long blackouts, such tragedies multiply. FEMA's data after the Texas winter storm of 2021 revealed hundreds of cases caused by improper heating indoors, all preventable. A battery-operated CO detector is a $20 device that literally saves lives. It monitors air for buildup and screams before danger reaches critical level. The best models include digital displays showing parts per million concentration and feature loud alarms designed to wake sleepers. Backup batteries ensure constant operation even when power is gone for days. Placement is key. 1 unit per floor, ideally near bedrooms and living spaces. Don't install next to windows or vents where airflow can interfere. FEMA also recommends testing the alarm monthly and replacing units every 5 to 7 years since sensors degrade over time. Beyond detection, education matters. Families must understand what not to burn indoors. Charcoal, gasoline, or wood without a proper chimney. Even cars left idling in attached garages can fill a home with CO. When snow blocks exhaust vents, gas furnaces can also backflow fumes inside. In survival, ignorance kills faster than hunger. The presence of a CO detector brings peace of mind amid chaos. It allows safe use of backup heaters and lamps without constant fear. When paired with ventilation, a cracked window or open vent, it forms a protective shield around your household. Power outages end eventually, but carbon monoxide leaves permanent consequences in minutes. In FEMA's survival hierarchy, light and heat come second to air, because without clean air, nothing else matters. Point 12. Emergency communication radios. Your voice beyond the silence. In a full blackout, you lose more than heat and light, you lose connection. Cell towers fail, Wi-Fi dies, and even emergency services can't respond when networks collapse. That's when FEMA's final lifeline steps forward. The emergency hand crank or solar radio. It's not a relic of the past, it's the backbone of disaster communication. When storms cut power for weeks, knowing what's happening outside becomes vital. Emergency radios receive NOAA, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration weather alerts, government advisories, and AM/FM updates. These broadcasts guide survivors on where to go, what to avoid, and when help is coming. Without them, you're operating blind in a world gone silent. Modern models are incredibly versatile, powered by hand crank, solar, or replaceable batteries. Many even double as flashlights, phone chargers, or sirens. FEMA specifically recommends keeping one per household, tuned to local emergency channels. The small investment delivers immense security, but the real power isn't just in receiving, it's in staying psychologically anchored. During prolonged isolation, hearing a human voice, even from a distant newscaster, keeps panic at bay. People underestimate the mental collapse that occurs when cut off from information. Fear feeds on silence. Radios destroy silence. Survival experts train families to run communication drills, checking reception, learning frequencies, and establishing preset listening times with neighbors or local groups. In large blackouts, small communities often coordinate rescue or resource sharing through these channels. It transforms scattered households into networks of mutual aid. A good radio can operate indefinitely, crank for 1 minute, and you get 15 minutes of power. Add a small solar panel, and it becomes self-sustaining. Combined with your solar generator or battery packs, it forms part of a resilient survival ecosystem. Communication, light, and heat cycling together. When society freezes, the first information you receive often decides your fate, whether to evacuate, stay put, or ration supplies. And when the grid finally returns, the people who stayed informed are the ones still standing. That's why FEMA never omits it from the list. It's not just about hearing, it's about knowing. And in the chaos of winter, knowledge is power.